Okay, let's take a look at number 7 on page 97. Okay, for root x minus, or 8 minus x equals x plus 6, solve each equation algebraically and graphically. Identify any restrictions on the variables. Okay, so to start for a, we have root 8 minus x equals x plus 6. The restriction will be x is less than or equal to 8. Just whatever's under the radical sign, we set it greater than or equal to 0 and find the restriction. Okay, algebraically, we have root 8 minus x equals, okay, we'll square both sides. That's what I want to put here. And we will get 8 minus x equals x squared plus 12x plus 36. Okay, setting that to 0, we get x squared plus 13x plus 28. Okay, so to solve the equation algebraically, we need to use the quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, you won't have to memorize that. That will be on your diploma formula sheet. Okay, so if we take a look, we have x equals negative 13 plus or minus the square root of 13 squared minus 4 by 1 by 28 all over 2 by 1. Okay, so we end up with x equals negative 13 plus or minus root 57 over 2. And this turns out to be x equals negative 13 plus root 57 over 2, which is approximately negative 2.7, or we have to take a look at the negative possibility of the root 57, negative 13 minus root 57 over 2, which is approximately negative 10.3. So the graph on your graphing calculator basically shows that there's one solution at negative 2.72. So negative 10.3 is an extraneous root. Okay, let's try the next example. If we look at B, we have for y equals x plus 2 root x minus 7. The restrictions are x has to be greater than or equal to 7. Okay, so we're going to take a look and we're going to have 4 minus x equals 2 root x minus 7. Okay, so we have squaring both sides. We have 16 minus 8x plus x squared equals 4x squared minus 14. 0 equals 3x squared plus 8x minus 30. Okay, again we have to apply the quadratic formula, and I'll just put it here again. And we have x equals negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 8 squared minus 4 by 3 by negative 30 all over 2 by 3. So x equals negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 424 over 6. And that is equal to, we can simplify that, the radical, negative 8 plus or minus 2 root 106 divided by 6. And dividing top and bottom by 2, we get negative 4 plus or minus root 106 divided by 3. So let's analyze two possibilities. We have x equals negative 4 plus root 106 divided by 3, and that is approximately 2.1. Okay, if we take a look at the other possibility, we get x equals negative 4 minus root 106 divided by 3, and that will be approximately negative 4.8. Remember, when you're dividing in the calculator with a fraction, you make sure the numerator is in brackets when you're doing the calculation. If we take a look at the graph, there is no solution. As well as because as neither value meets the restriction on x. Okay, if we take a look at C, our restrictions on the variable are x is less than or equal to negative root 33 over 3, or x is greater than or equal to root 33 over 3. Okay, so what we have here is we are going to square both sides to solve algebraically. And we get 3x squared minus 11 equals x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay, moving it all to one side and setting it to 0, we get 2x squared minus 2x minus 12 equals 0. X squared minus x minus 6 equals 0. Just divide both sides by 2. So for factoring, we get x plus 2, x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, x plus 2 equals 0, x equals negative 2, x minus 3 equals 0, x equals 3 are our two possibilities. So if we take a look at our graph, what we have here is x equals 3 is our solution. Negative 2 is an extraneous root. So our solution is x equals 3, x equals 2 is an extraneous root. Okay, let's take a look at the last one, D. Okay, x equals root 2x squared minus 8. So the restriction on the variable will be x is less than or equal to negative 2, or x is greater than or equal to 2. And that's just by setting what's under the radical sign to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so we have to move, let's keep the radical on one side and move the 2 to the other side. And then we're going to square both sides. And we end up with x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 2x squared minus 8. Okay, moving it all to one side, we get 0 equals x squared plus 4x minus 12. Okay, factoring that out, we get 0 equals x plus 6 by x minus 2. So x plus 6 equals 0 for our intercept, x equals negative 6, and x minus 2 equals 0, x equals positive 2. So if we take a look at our graph, it has to be less than negative 2 but greater than or equal to positive 2. And if we take a look at our graph, the solution is x equals 2. X equals negative 6 is an extraneous root. I'll go here, so I'll just put this. I'll put, and x equals 2 is the solution.